Good morning and welcome to the Problem Solving Podcast, where we take everyday problems and talk through them and hopefully help you solve them.
Everyday problems and some problems that kind of just creep on forever.
Yeah, like today's.
Like today's. We're talking about what?
Hold on. What's your name?
My name's Devin.
And my name's Wes. Sorry, if you
didn't
haven't
say
been here
that.
before. At least we need to introduce ourselves.
It's obviously not about us. This is all about you. So we're talking money today.
Money. Yes. The root of all evil. Money. Money
Is
can't
it
buy
though?
you happiness. Money.
Money can't buy you happiness. I think that's the biggest lie. And
I kind of agree.
and when used correctly, right? Because
Right.
here's the thing. I mean, are there people with money who are not happy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's people without money that are extremely happy.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's the determining factor of happiness or peace or joy or whatever it may be. And what I found most in my life is when the use of money can make you happy.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it's not about the fancy car. And I know I say that as I drive a car that drives itself.
He drives a fancy car.
But here's the thing. If it were truly just about what the money could do, I wouldn't have bought a Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
I would have bought, my favorite car, which is the Toyota Supra. If it were all about money, I'd just have maybe one of each car.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. But it's not. It's about what the money can do. It's about who you can impact with the money. And I think, in talks with other business owners and people who make decent money, or at least desire to make decent money, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because we get stuck in this mode, and we're going to get to the conversation of like how money impacts your life, how money is an important tool, but also how the economy around you shapes how you look at money. Because gas prices are up, yes?
Yeah, gas prices. You wouldn't know anything about that. but
Well,
they are.
I wouldn't know
They're
anything
crazy.
about buying it, and I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think it was $4.89, the highest I saw on the way up to Ohio most recently. But I think the ultimate kind of conversation before we get into all that around the money is that we think too small about money. And that's why I think people get a little bit stressed and anxious, because they're constantly only going after what they think they need.
Yeah.
And personally, I think you're selfish because of that. And we'll get into that. But anyway.
I'm glad he brought up the Cybertruck. You don't know this.
Cybertruck.
Funny half-second story.
Cybertruck does.
So we had Red Day yesterday, KW Red Day, and we were out at Fannin County Family Connections doing a lot of great work there.
Shout out to those guys. Thank you.
The what they do in our community, honestly, I talked about it to like 4 or 5 different people yesterday. It was really eye-opening.
Yeah.
You know what they do, but when you see it behind the scenes, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But I was taking the garbage out yesterday, and again, like, this is not a joke. I walked outside, and I saw your Cybertruck, and you had the back open. And that's the first time since you've had it where I really was like, for a half a second, I was like, that's the dumpster I need to go throw my garbage bag in. Because I was not used to my surroundings out there at Fannin County Family Connections. And I was like, nope, it's definitely not.
Funny story. That's hilarious because, my wife always says that the truck looks like our garbage can in our kitchen when it's like overflowing.
Yeah, there you go.
So
I like it.
You know what? It is what it is. I like it. It drives me places. And I don't have to pay for gas.
It's true.
So back to the money conversation. I think, again, if I have the thought that by you thinking small about money, it's kind of a selfish thought.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Where do the thoughts kind of go?
I understand your thought process on that. I understand how you're like, it's kind of selfish of you because let's say, you need to make an X amount of dollars to pay your bills every month.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well then I know what I need for just my bills alone. That's what I'm going to work for. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, your thought process behind selfishness is like, we're in the year 2026. There's so many different ways you can make money, right? And diversify your income if you want to. And there's so much good you can do with more money. And so it's not just having more money for the sake of having more money. It's being able to what can you do for the good of your family or your community with that money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think we pigeonholed ourselves into the thought of, I just got to support me.
yeah.
Right? Well, I will tell you, if you've never been a parent, that will immediately change the moment you have a child, right?
Right.
Because then you're like, oh, it's not just about me. Now it's about me and so many other people.
Yep.
And then your world gets bigger. And then you still think, okay, well, if I just had enough to pay the bills, if I just had enough to put my daughter into the school she wants to go to, if I just had enough to make sure that we're fed and all this kind of stuff, and that's awesome. And there's other people that depend on you too, whether you know it or not. I mean, let's just be real for a minute, and then we're going to get into the problem and how to solve it. But let's be extremely real, right? Like, money in today's age is easier to get than it has ever been in the past.
Yes.
And I think we feel it's harder to attain.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's a big problem.
You know, it's funny that I saw this quote yesterday, and on the Motivation app. I love their stuff, but
is it called Motivation?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's an app, obviously, but they post a lot of their stuff on Instagram, and it was just one sentence, and it was like, everyone thinks it's really cringy until you're making, in a month what they make in a year, and that goes to like putting yourself out there and kind of just doing what we're doing right now, right? Yep. Making a podcast, trying to help people, but like posting on TikTok. My mind automatically went to like TikTok Shop, right? Okay. And people doing that.
Oh,
and
okay.
And you're like, I could never be one of those people like that. Well, how could you do that?
People didn't think they could door-to-door sell either.
Right.
But I guarantee there's some people watching here who sold Oric vacuums.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And Amway, right? Or
Amway. Oric vacuum is still the GOAT.
There you go. So. Yes. Fannin County Family Connections had one of those yesterday,
really?
actually, and it was like a tank, and it worked fantastic.
There you go.
But when I thought about that, I was really thinking, that's so true. A lot of people know that there's ways to make extra income, but they just are too scared to do it for multiple reasons. Like, it could be like, I'm just scared of what my peers are going to think about me, or I'm just scared to put myself out there, or I'm not going to be able to do it right, or so on and so on and so on. It kind of jumps onto the topic we had a couple weeks ago, just like that, putting things off, or the fear of rejection, or the fear of like, I'm not good enough. And it's like all those things get in your way of possibly being able to change your life and change your community's life by just taking that step and doing.
Yeah.
Done is better than perfect.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it is. And the thing is, too, so to that point, I get that. I think I felt that actually, too, as I was kind of growing up into my adult life.
Absolutely.
I grew up in a house where we, and this isn't a judgment to anybody, but I grew up in a house where, hey, we didn't really go out to eat. Yep. We didn't have all the money. We didn't have, my mom worked 3 jobs. Like, I never felt like we had a lot.
Yeah.
Right? So then when I started making money, and at 19, I was making more than my mom made as a nurse, which honestly should probably never happen. Okay, let's just be real. I should not make more in a fast food restaurant than my mom made as a nurse.
Teachers.
Or teachers, right?
For real.
And honestly, like, I remember in middle school, high school, I was thinking, man, I would love to be a teacher. Mm-hmm. And then I knew or found out what they made.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so it's that thing. It's like, okay, well, growing up in that and then coming out of it and then starting to make some money, well, yeah, it's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a weird feeling not because you don't want it. You want the money, right? But it's like, ooh, yeah, how are people going to think? Or like, what are people going to react as like I show up in this kind of car or these clothes or this or whatever. And honestly, friends, it's not about the cars, clothes, or whatever. And I know we've kind of hit on that already, but I want to drive that point home. You're going to have moments in your life where something is important for you to attain, right? And I think back to a story of there was this guy who his goal was he just wanted to be able to afford a Rolex, right? And he went out and he did the work and he made the money and he went and he bought the Rolex watch. and he put it on, and his own family said, "What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are you wearing that? You know how much money that costs? You know how much good that could have done? You know how much that could have done or paid bills or whatever?" And then guess what? He stopped wearing it. And I'm like, that dude did the work, made the money, set a goal, bought it,
Yeah.
and then was so overwhelmed by the thoughts of others that he didn't wear it anymore.
Yeah.
And friends, it's not about the Rolex. It's about the feeling of accomplishment. It's about the feeling of, wow, I did something. I made something of myself. I did something that no one else thought I could do.
Right.
And, I think that's step one in all of this, right? If we're talking about solving the problem of money, right? And the fact that money is not available.
Yeah.
That's just a lie. It's available. It's out there. The question is, how do we get over that? How do we get over the fear of success? I think we talked about the fear of rejection, but what about the fear of success?
Yeah, I think the fear of success, I mean, it goes hand in hand with the fear of failure, right? Like, I think that most people just don't start for that reason.
Yeah.
They don't think that success could happen, right? They're like, I see other people doing it, but I don't know if I'm not that person.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of self-doubt that could creep in there. And I think that it's fascinating, like, once you just put yourself out there, and whatever you do, you can be successful.
Yeah.
And it's so funny where it's like, if we're talking about real estate, if we're talking about if you have a 9-to-5 job, I was just talking to, a friend of ours yesterday about TikTok, right? And she was so excited to show me that she's grown so many followers on TikTok. Yeah. And it all comes back to the same thing. It's just consistency, right?
Yeah.
So consistency in what you do and what you put into things you get out of. And so, like, I think it's important to realize where it's people that are do well for themselves, that people consider wealthy, or people are considered doing well in life. That's 9 times out of 10 what happens. Like, yes, every once in a while you'll meet somebody that won the lottery. Awesome for them. But like 9 times out of 10, it's they have a job, they have a career, they have a business, and they woke up and they were consistent to do the things they need to do every day.
Yeah.
And I think that we as a society make it too hard on ourselves by thinking of all the what ifs and not just doing the things that we need to do. And I'm speaking for myself. Trust me, Devin can tell you, I'm speaking for myself. It's like I do. I'm one of those people that wake up every day and say, what if somebody hangs up on me, or what if I get an attitude, or what if this, or what if that, or
what if
life gets in
crashes?
the way, right? What life gets in the way, life just becomes so busy, and so I get it. I'm preaching to myself and preaching to the choir, but
well, you're preaching to a ton of people.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, everybody plays the what if game.
Yeah.
The question is how long are you going to let that control your life?
Right.
So here's the thing, friends. You can't control the first thought that pops into your head, but you can control the second.
Yeah.
And the first thought that pops into your head for a long time will probably not be the one you want.
Yeah.
But like you said, with the consistency, with the conditioning over time of changing that first thought into the second one that you get to choose, will create the life that you're actually looking to achieve.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much work I've put into that, because friends, naturally as humans, in today's society, the English language, I believe, is like 74% negative language. You're surrounded by it. You're surrounded by just negativity. You're surrounded by the news. You're surrounded by social media and comparison and all this stuff. And it's near impossible without intentionality to change that first thought. That first thought is going to be the toughest thing. It's going to be the most important thing you could work on if we want to talk about your relationship with money changing. Because your first thought with money, like you already started this podcast with, the root of all evil,
yeah.
right? Or money doesn't grow on
trees,
right? And we don't have enough money.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't buy you happiness.
Money doesn't buy you happiness, right? We're programmed and conditioned on these things. And you've got to shift that thinking, because friends, money won't actually change you. Have you ever heard that? Like, money's changed you. You started making money, you're a different person. I don't like who you are now.
Nope, it doesn't change you. It just actually shows you more of who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money doesn't change you, it exposes you.
Yeah.
Right? It exposes you. And if you're a great person, what are you going to do with the money?
Yeah, you're gonna give it back and do well for others.
You're gonna go do more good. And if you're not so great, right, or you haven't worked on yourself enough, or you've got evil intention, or you've got selfish intention, well, friends, you're gonna go do more of that.
Right.
So that's where I think, and this is coming back to that calling you out
Right.
of, I think it's selfish not to go after the most amount of money possible, because if you don't, you're putting more money in the hands of others who may not necessarily do well with it.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those good people, I think your duty is to go make enough for, yes, of course, you and your family. But again, what are some things that are important to you? What are some things in your community or your life or in your future that like you could go impact? That becomes your goal, not just paying the bills.
You know, it's funny. I think you kind of hit something that I was thinking about when we were getting ready for this podcast is how we're so conditioned around money.
Yeah.
Right. And how, you know, we hear the sayings and we can finish the sayings and kind of make a joke about it. But I think as a society that we are conditioned that way. And, you know, I would love to see like financial literacy taught in schools more, and just a lot of people grow up. If you, you know, like both of our, you know, growing up situations didn't have money. Money didn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
And, or that they did, they weren't planting.
I didn't even know money trees existed.
Yeah, they didn't.
You know, those are real.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And, it's just weird because that just becomes like a generational thing that you hear.
It does.
And it's helping people to break that and break that mindset is what is the most important. I think that's like one of the main things we just need to hit on today is, yes, you can hear us and roll your eyes and say, oh, these guys, like, what do they know? And we don't know, you know, we're just talking. But we do know that if you want to go out in 2026 to make as much money as you can do that. You just have to be willing to put the work in.
Yep. Yeah, that's all there is to it, you know, and this is where, you know, I think it gets really interesting of a conversation. And I do want to shift out of the mindset thing a little bit and into more like practical kind of things on a daily and talk about prices and talk about these things, because I think these are real things, right? And people are struggling with that. But I think too, you know, I always come back to the golden handcuffs, because we're not just speaking to real estate agents.
Nope.
We're not just speaking to business owners. We're not even speaking to like the side hustle person. There's people out there who are just so paralyzed by fear because they've had a 9-to-5, or I hate using that term, but they have a normal job where they get paid a W-2 wage, right? And, well, oh my gosh, I can't afford to lose my $15 an hour. And I say, okay, well, $15 an hour, you know, 20 years ago would have been pretty good. And today, it's kind of like what minimum wage should be. Right? So if we're talking about $15 an hour, even $20, $30, $40 an hour, the thing is, it's like they don't realize, but they have the opportunity to use those funds in a way that can provide them leverage, that could provide them more money, different income streams, and opportunities. So that way, maybe down the road, they could choose not to have those golden handcuffs, which, by the way, is a salary. They could choose not to have those things.
Yeah.
Because if you're utilizing your salary in such a way that you're positioning and setting up your life, well, you don't need to go have the next big business idea. You don't need to go be a content creator on TikTok. You don't need to go do these things that everyone preaches. All you got to do is what the people of old did and use their money to make more money.
But Devin, I make $4,000 a month, and my bills are $4,200 a month.
Sweet. Let's talk about that.
How do I fix it? How can I use my money to make more money if I don't even have enough money to pay my bills every month?
Well, this is the thing too, and this is where we got to get real, right? We said last time, get real to get right.
Yeah.
And if your bills are $4,200 a month, my first question would be, what are you spending it on?
Yeah.
And we're going to gain a lot of clarity there. It's kind of like asking a real estate agent, where do you spend your time every day?
Yeah.
And you know what they say? I don't know. That's the first thing. Then they say social media. And I said, great, scrolling or actually doing?
Right.
And they're scrolling. So I think there's a lot of time wasters, but I think there's a lot also of money wasters.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey fan. I don't know if you are, but you seem to like the things that I don't. So, but I'm not a huge...
I like all the cool stuff. I'm joking.
I'm not a huge Dave Ramsey fan, but only for the simple reason that like I'm not his audience. Like he's not talking to me, right? But the people that I think he talks to makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because the people that Dave Ramsey talks to are people who are in financial debt. They're people who've made some poor financial decisions.
Right.
They're people who are in trouble, or they don't make enough money, or they just do things on a daily that they just don't realize is impacting their lives at a big level. So I think the first step is to take the Dave Ramsey approach and audit your life.
Yeah.
I would audit your life. I would say, okay, what am I spending $4,200 a month on? And I would ask myself, seriously, red light, green light, is it building me or is it tearing me down?
Yeah.
Is it multiplying my efforts or is it dividing? Is it giving me opportunity into the future or not? And so that would be the first thing I would do. And I know, and I'm not here to tell you to stop drinking your coffee.
Right.
Like, here's the thing. You
Make
can
it
drink
at
your
home.
coffee. You can make it at home.
That's right.
But even that, like, I hate when people say that. It's actually better at home. And you're not drinking like demon-possessed coffee from Starbucks. But, wait, another conspiracy. We'll get into that later. And it's just not my favorite thing because I'm like, you know what? If that brings you joy, find something else.
Yeah.
Right? Find something else. Because there's always going to be something. I can't tell you, I'm pretty sure you watching right now, or maybe even you, you've got a subscription you don't even use. Right? Or maybe, just maybe, you haven't like checked on your internet bill in a while, and that early credit they gave you when you first signed up went away. Now you're paying like double what you were expecting to pay. I bet you there's money there. I also bet you that you haven't checked on your like insurance rates in a few years. I also bet you that as rent has gone up, if you're renting, you haven't looked for a new place to go. You kind of just
Stayed.
I'm comfortable here.
Yep.
You haven't looked into buying a house,
Right.
which would honestly, yes, maybe cost you a little bit more up front, but save you a ton of money over time. There's things that you can do in your life, and I would suggest just auditing your life first and just saying, okay, let's just be real with ourselves. Do I need this? Not to mention, and this might hurt a little bit, if you like things, guess what? All those things used to be money.
Yep.
And that's a powerful idea. All the things around you, all the things that you surround yourself with at home, whether it be shoes, clothes, carpet, toys, golf stuff, whatever, used to be money.
Yep.
And you spent it. And I guarantee you there's a ton of stuff around your house that you just haven't even touched.
You thought it was, you were like, oh, I can't wait to have this, can't wait to have this, and then you got it, and it's like the new toy on Christmas Day.
Yeah, right. You play with it, you play with it, you play with it, and then you forget about it.
It's funny when you said subscriptions. I know a lot of people are thinking like Netflix or Hulu or whatever. My mind actually went to apps on your phone, because how many times, I don't know, and maybe you're not me, but like
I'm not. You're Wes. I'm Devin, and this is the Problem Solving Podcast.
you download an app and you're like, this app looks awesome. And it's like, oh, there's a 7-day trial.
Yeah.
I'll forget to turn it off. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, I got $25 coming out of my bank account because I forget.
Yeah.
And so like the worst ones are like the $2 ones or the $3 ones, because then it's like just enough to go under the radar.
Yeah, you don't know.
Next thing you know, you spent $40 in a year. Like, and how many times do you do that?
Yeah.
You have 4 or 5 of those apps. It's literally hundreds of dollars. So auditing your life is great. I love that.
You know what the worst app is, real
What?
quick? And it's not even an app, but it's Microsoft 365 or 360. I don't know what they call it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the Microsoft thing, I had 3 accounts, and I pay yearly. So I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute, didn't that just renew like 4 months ago? So then I'm looking into it. But Microsoft accounts are terrible. You never remember what the passwords are. You never remember how to log in, because tell me the last time you've logged into your Microsoft account.
I know.
Ever. So yeah, I mean, last year I found 3 Microsoft accounts.
That's wild. And that's not cheap.
Well, I mean, yeah, it'd be like, well, for the 2 that I ended up canceling, it was like near $280 for the year. But
Yep.
you know, it's money.
It is.
It's money. That, again, even if I didn't need it, what could I do with that $280? We learned yesterday that for every $1 that Fannin County Family Connection collects, they can pay for $8 worth of food.
Yep.
Well, $280 times 8, that's over $1,000.
yeah.
Well, a lot more than $1,000.
Yeah,
Probably
it's over
$2,000
Yeah.
in food that could be provided for people who may need it.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? Like, you don't think the money you're wasting
Yeah.
is important or worth worrying about. But friends, it's so much bigger than that.
I want to stick on this. This is great. So I audited my life. Okay. I see that my bills are $4,200 a month. I make $4,000 a month. I see that, I probably waste $250.
Okay.
Okay. So now I can save that, but it still only gives me $50 leeway. Like, plus I've never been good with money. How do I know? Like, what do I do? Like, budget is a scary word.
Yeah.
So
Most people
what am
don't
I
even
supposed
have
to do
one.
with that? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing first is I would audit the life, but the second thing is I would budget.
Yeah.
I would set a budget, because here's the thing. You're going to look at the subscriptions, you're going to audit your life, you're going to see where you're spending money, but that's the next thing that people don't really realize, how much money they spend.
Yep.
Like when I ask people too, because I used to run these financial literacy seminars, and I'd ask people, how much money do you spend on food? And you want to guess what the most common answer per month was?
In terms of groceries and eating out and everything?
Just all food for the month.
Golly. For one person, they're going to underestimate.
Oh, extremely.
So.
By the way, this wasn't just one person. This was like their family budget, what they expected they spend every month.
$500.
No, it was $200 to $300 on average. Now, here's the thing. Can you eat alone for $200 to $300 a month? Yes, and it's going to be like ramen noodles and white bread.
Yeah, it's not going to be great.
Right? Which means we're going to take things away from other areas of your life, which then may end up costing you more money down the road. But the biggest area we can go audit for somebody after they've audited subscriptions and all the different things that they spend money on is food.
Yeah.
Because they think they're spending $200 to $300 a month, when in reality, friends, I can tell you it's a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. There was one guy I did, I'll never forget. He thought he was spending $275 a month, and it was just him and his child. That was it. Turned out, after we took 3 months of bank statements and went through them and took the average, he was spending $780 a month. Mm-hmm. So $275,
Yep.
$780.
Yep.
There's a big gap there.
Absolutely.
And at that time, that was a car payment.
Yep.
So you want to talk about auditing your life. You want to talk about spending money that you don't realize you're spending. Well, you can spend a lot on food pretty easily. And even more today, because friends, I got an Asiago Ranch Chicken Club from Wendy's yesterday. My favorite sandwich ever. We left there and I was just super tired. So obviously my willpower was down.
There you go.
And I went and got one. The sandwich alone was like $9.
I know, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Snap.
I know.
And I don't mean the benefits. It's expensive, right?
Yep.
So if you start thinking about those things, well, oh my gosh, could I have made the same thing at home for like $1.50? The answer is yes, but I would have had to have made it at home.
Yeah.
And I would have had to have planned that time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if you have more questions. I'm happy to go into them, but I think the second thing you should do is really look at, okay, where are my consumables?
Yep.
And the biggest thing I'm gonna see is food.
Great. So we did that.
Yep.
We budgeted. We looked at all
You
our
got your
bank
budget.
statements and seeing that, we are eating out too much. That's probably the dead giveaway. We're eating out too much, and we're able to save some money here. Also, I found a gym membership that I don't use anymore, and that's going to be
Guilty.
another yeah. So now it's like, all right, my bills are actually only $37.50, and I make $4,000 a month.
Sweet.
What's next?
Well, I'd say at that point, you've got some money that you should start putting away because that will keep the discipline. That will start the discipline of actually building wealth. So the next step is go talk to someone who knows what the heck they're doing.
Yeah.
Go talk to someone who can get you into an IRA, a Roth, something that you can start putting money away. Because did you know at the end of the year, if you do that, you can have pre-tax and post-tax deductions, which save you more money,
Yep.
which then you compound over time. You build year over year over year. Well, not only are you saving money, you're also compounding and making money on your interest instead of spending it or letting it sit in a savings account earning nothing. And then you're getting tax benefits on top of that. You compound that over 5 years. You're not only creating a habit,
Yep.
and creating more income and stability. It's consistency, which is what we said is the secret to success.
Yeah.
And when you do the consistency, friends, how do you think people retired who didn't like have side hustles,
Right.
and side gigs and star on YouTube and all this stuff? Friends, they put money away.
Yep.
And they let it compound over time. And they did it consistently.
Yeah.
They had money come out of their checks every single week that they got paid, put away like they never even had it. And I think that's super important. It's just creating that discipline next, because then what's super interesting about that point in time is you're like, okay, this isn't so bad. This isn't so hard. And then you start taking those little steps.
Yep.
And your brain starts to rewire and you're like, how can I do this more?
Yeah.
Because psychologically, you see the bank account start to grow. You're like, holy crap, I've never been here before.
Yeah.
I've never had a growing bank account. I've always had to worry about if there was enough money in it.
Right.
So you want to do it more. You actually become almost like a squirrel and you try to squirrel that stuff away. And what's super cool about doing that is it will grow quicker.
Yeah.
Your brain rewires. You start to look at things and you're like, oh, man, do I really even need that? Friends, I had a sauna in my house since 2020 until last year. And it got to the point where like I was only using it once every couple months. And I'm like, is it really worth hanging on to? Mm-hmm. And we ended up selling it. We just made the choice. We sold it. Now, do I want one again? Yeah. And I'm having that internal struggle. Like I sold it like a year ago at this point. So now I've been a year without it and I'm like, I'm getting the itch again.
Yeah.
Like, do I want it? But here's the thing. During that time, you sell the thing, you put the money away, you gain interest on the money. Mm-hmm. You can almost buy a whole nother sauna with the compounded interest that we've created because we've put money away. And please don't take that like, yeah, I put $3,000 in the bank and over a year I made $3,000 in interest, because that's not the case.
Right.
But when you have the bigger bank account being built up cumulatively over time, your interest grows faster.
Yeah.
And I can say, okay, well, over the past year, this is how much interest we've brought in. What do we want to do with it? Mm-hmm. Do we want to continue to compound it? Do we want to continue to leave it there? Or do we want to do something? Right? Same thing. I've got two Trek bikes at my house that we have really not rode since we moved here. Mm-hmm. My wife has ridden hers a few times. I rode mine once since we moved here. And I'm like, they're just sitting there. Those are like $800 bikes.
Yeah.
It's just money. See, like I look at it as it's like $800 just sitting there, right? Instead of it's just a bike collecting dust. And that's where that rewire of the brain will come in. And what's super cool about that, I think you get a added benefit as well. You start to simplify and declutter your life. Mm-hmm. Because think about all the stuff, right? Just picture yourselves in your space right now. And how much stuff surrounds you? Does it bring you joy, or does it actually bring you stress and chaos and anxiety? Because friends, that stuff clutters your life. It just gains dust. It's one more thing to clean. It's one more thing that like, you're like, if it broke, I would be sad. But I'm like, you're only sad because now you feel like you lost out on the money.
Yeah.
Because you haven't touched it in a year. And that's honestly the reality. It's like you would only be upset. Like I would only be upset at this point if my bike broke.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dang, I could have got $800 for it. Mm-hmm. Not because I would miss riding it, because I haven't ridden it. So I think it rewires that kind of thought process in the brain. So you audit your life, you set a budget, you start squirreling money away, because that will bring so many other benefits to your life.
It sounds like just audit your environment too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of your life. Just take inventory, friends.
Yep.
And I don't know if you know this or not, and I don't know if you know this or not, but on your net worth statement, number one, if you don't have one, get one. It's as simple as how much money do I have? How many debts do I have? That's your income.
Yep.
Right? Now, it's a little more complicated than that, but just getting started, that's all you got to do. How much money am I worth? Friends, when I started tracking, negative net worth.
Yeah.
I can tell you that's not the case today, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of consistency. It's a lot of time. But I would have not gotten to where I am had I not known where I was.
Yeah.
So your net worth statement, if you don't have one, get one. But on there, it has personal property. And that doesn't mean your house.
Yeah.
That means all the stuff you own. How much is it worth? Right? And so when you take and you audit your life and your space and your belongings and all that stuff, you should do that because that goes directly on your net worth statement. And then again, like I said, you'll look at it differently. You'll look at it as, okay, let's get really real. Who's ever had a business idea?
Yo.
Who's ever had like, oh, I got the next great Shark Tank idea, right?
Absolutely.
But you know what? I don't have the money to do it. I don't have the money to pursue it. You actually do.
Yeah.
It's just sitting in stuff around you, right? Go sell it.
Yep.
Quit making the excuse that you don't have the money. Go
Facebook
sell
Marketplace.
stuff. Facebook Marketplace makes it so much easier, except I'm banned on there. I don't know how they banned me, why they banned me, but I can't sell on Facebook Marketplace anymore. But yeah, it's so simple, friends. Like you have stuff around you that's valuable. And I'm not saying to go sell grandma's heirloom, right? But what I am saying is the stupid stuff that you bought, if you don't need it,
It's worth
why
something
have
to
it?
somebody. Yeah.
Why have it? Yeah.
I love
There's
it.
your seed money.
Yeah, no, it's been super insightful because I think that money is one of those problems where we just look at and, you know, statistics tell you it's one of the leading causes of divorce and arguments in marriages and, you know, mental health stress and so on, so on, so on. Because not having it or the fear of, you know, losing everything that you've worked so hard for is scary. And
Well, I think really quick, and I'm gonna shut up after this.
No,
I
you're
think,
fine.
But, that what you just said, what you've worked so hard for to attain, it reminds me of and I don't know if make fun of, but like that country song. I think it's Craig Morgan. This ain't nothing.
this ain't nothing.
Have you ever heard that song? Okay, because
It's the total opposite genre.
listening to Drake
It's Drake
this morning.
Day. 3
Drake
albums,
Day.
43 songs. There you go.
Well, this ain't nothing. I think it's Craig Morgan. But, you know, it just tells the story of the fact that, like, hey, you know, life is life and things are things, but the most important things can't be taken from you.
Yeah.
Right? The most important things will always be with you no matter what happens.
Yeah.
And in that song, they're talking about, you know, a tornado ripping through and all that's left is a picture of you know, a loved one, you know, and I think it's the memories that truly matter. It's the memories even with the things that matter. Like I loved my pogo stick growing up, but do I still have one? No, because the weight limit is 200. And quite honestly, I weigh 205 to 215 pounds, so I can't even use one.
I know.
So no, I don't own a pogo stick anymore. But would someone love a pogo stick? Probably, because people like hacky sacks again. So, you know, yes, there's a value on these things that somebody will want. And if you're still waiting for your Beanie Baby collection to come back,
You should have bought Pokemon cards.
just keep waiting. I guarantee you it'll probably come back. Anyway, sorry, keep going. What were you
Should
saying?
have bought Pokemon cards. Not
Should have bought
Beanie Babies.
Pokemon cards. Look at the value of those.
But I have 50,
My mom said I was an idiot.
I have 50 Princess Diana Beanie Babies. I don't understand. No, I'm just joking. No, but at the end of the day, it's, again, just being real with yourself. I love how a lot of people that are in financial stress or, you know, see money as an evil thing don't want to be real with themselves to start. They don't want to actually get out their bank statements and look to see, okay,
no.
this is
It's scary.
where my money is going, because then it's real.
It's uncomfortable.
And then it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so it's just starting there and being real with yourself. Like, if you can't be real with yourself, who can you be real with? And that's the first step. It's the hardest step, I guarantee. But it's the first step, just to say, okay, I know I'm in trouble, or I know that I need to make a change. And this is where I start.
Well, and friends, I'm just as guilty. I mean,
Oh.
I go quarterly. I do this quarterly. I audit it quarterly, and we look, and every single time I'm like, how did I miss this last time?
Yeah.
You know, but every quarter we kind of go through and we look at the numbers, and we're like, and last time I found out, and I knew, deep down in my heart, I knew. But friends, I was spending more on my ghost addiction than most people spend on their cell phone bill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's probably a problem.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and again, it's $2 here, it's $3 there, but that accumulates. Guess what? That's consistency.
Yep.
And consistency can work against you if you're not using it to work for yourself. And I love the point that you just made, and it brings me to kind of one of my bigger thoughts of the conversation. And you know, it'll tail into something else here real quick, but you might be able to afford your life financially, but that doesn't mean you can afford your life mentally.
Yeah.
Right? And what I mean by that is you may think that, like, yeah, I can go buy the car. I can go get the Cybertruck. I can go get the Toyota Supra. I can go get whatever. But in order to do that, you're taking out the payment.
Yep.
And now you've got a $700 to $1,500 car payment. And guess what you're thinking about every month?
Yeah. How am I going to make that car payment?
Can I afford it? How can I make the payment? Oh man, that's hurting a little bit more. And then what's so awesome after buying now becomes a mental drain
and burden.
and stressor and burden for you.
Yep.
So just because you can go get approved to buy a vehicle doesn't necessarily mean you should. Just because you could go get approved to buy the fancy new whatever doesn't mean you should. If you have to affirm your groceries, friends, reaffirm your life in certain ways, because something's missing.
And if you're under contract on a home, you definitely don't want to go buy that new car.
Yeah, you don't buy anything. You can't even buy groceries, my friend. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. You were talking about Dave Ramsey earlier. He has a saying, "You live like nobody else, so you can live like nobody else."
Yeah.
And that's such a true statement, because, you know, in order to build wealth, you, how do I say this in the right way, where you can look wealthy
Yep.
or you can act wealthy, and a lot of times it's two different things.
Oh, extremely.
And so to live like no one else means like you're not going out and making those financial decisions that are going to end up being burdens every month. You're putting that money away, and you're letting it build wealth, and you're letting it build on itself, and you're using it for money building purposes to make money.
Yeah.
Have your money make money, not have your money suck money out of you.
Yes.
So-
Yeah. Money can be, it can be a multiplier, it can be a divider.
Yep.
Right. And you know, but here, don't take what we're saying as you shouldn't enjoy life.
No.
Because you should. I think we started this with, you know, we're talking about coffee, and I'm like,
Yep.
I don't really like that. You know, if it brings you joy. Here's the thing, friends. You're here one time, right? This is your life.
Yep.
Enjoy it. And do it in such a way that your future self can enjoy it too. And I will tell you that one of the greatest compliments I've ever received was from my daughter, and it was probably about a year ago. Not even a year ago. It was probably about 8 months ago, because it had to do with the Cybertruck. She goes, "Dad, you remind me of Adam Sandler." And I'm like, "Interesting. Tell me more." And she's like, "Well, he's got a lot of money, and he likes fancy things, but he dresses like he has no money."
I was gonna just Devin was wearing basketball shorts and a polo shirt at the time, so it was like
So I probably was. You know, and I was thinking about that, and I'm like, that's amazing. It's awesome. And absolutely. And Adam Sandler, you know, I've never met the guy personally, but I truly feel like he's one of the more down-to-earth people. And I may be wrong in that. Like I said, I don't know him personally, but at the end of the day, he does a lot of good. He gives back a lot, right? You know, and I look at that and I'm like, well, you've got these other celebrities or these other people or these other artists or whoever who dress like they're all that,
yeah,
right? And they show up like they're all that. Well, you know, I don't think that's, to me, it's not the definition of success, right?
Yeah.
But you should go enjoy life. You should enjoy the things. Just do it in such a way that glorifies the person that you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, bottom line, don't let money steal your joy. Don't treat money as a negative thing, because it doesn't have to be.
Well, and quickly, because I think you're probably trying to wrap this up, and I think we didn't hit on the most important thing when it comes to money, because I am a firm believer that the best asset you could ever have is your health.
Yeah.
And I fight this battle constantly, or at least I used to. I really don't anymore. Of you're going to spend money now, or you're going to spend money later.
Yeah.
When it comes to your health, right? You're going to spend money now by putting good in and taking care of yourself, or like I've seen time and time again with my mom being in nursing and hospice care and all this other stuff, you're going to pay for it later.
Yeah.
So what I mean by, don't live your life and take away all the joy or take away everything. Spend the money where it counts, right?
Right.
We talked about consistency and putting money away. Well, let's be consistent in taking care of yourself too, in a sense of, you know what, instead of buying the cheapest beef you could find, go buy the good stuff. Instead of buying the mass-produced eggs at, the Walmart clearance rack, go buy the good stuff, because you may spend more money up front, but you're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy, which will then allow you to go do more things, enjoy more things, and make more money in the process.
I love it.
Yeah. If you can't live and you can't be active and out there and actually do the things, then friends, this whole conversation is mute, because you're not going to be making $4,000 a month very long, because you're going to be sitting up on a hospital bed, or too sick, or can't go to work, or you lose your mental clarity, and then you lose your position, or I think about that all the time. I mean, my grandma got severe dementia, but granted, she was like 93 or 91 or something like that. But I'm like, dang, I do not want that to be me, because like for me, this is it. Like if I got this, I could go make money. Like money doesn't bother me. I don't need to, like I could lose my arms. If I got my brain, I can go make money.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, because unless you do that, this whole conversation is mute.
Yeah. Love it.
Buy the expensive eggs, or just find someone who raises chickens and buy theirs. Typically, they're less expensive than buying the expensive eggs at the grocery store.
It's very true. Very true.
Yeah. So I don't know what else to say on this money conversation. I mean, there's a lot we could talk about, but I think we laid it out.
Yep.
There's a problem.
Yep.
And I think it starts in the mind.
Yes.
It starts with your mindset around money. After that, it's auditing where you are and just getting uncomfortable.
Yes.
After that, it's setting a plan and holding yourself accountable. And from there, it's the consistent action every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Audit your life. That's my biggest takeaway from today. Be real with yourself. Audit your life.
Yeah.
You don't know. You can't. And again, in 2026, can you go anywhere without GPS if you've never been there before? It'd be very difficult. You'd be making a lot of wrong turns, and you'd run out of gas, or you'd run out of battery. And so have a plan, have an audit, know where you're going.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
It was great.
Same here. Perfect. Well, good stuff, friends. Today was all about money. If you wanted more information about money, we're happy to help. But it's as simple as just go pull out your bank statement.
Yep.
That's your task. So, Devin,
Wes.
Problem Solving Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.